Yeah, let's do it.
Right. So we're back. Welcome to the Common Ground, featuring my man here, Lawan Big Red Johnson, and myself, Mackill 417. And we're here to discuss this whole deal with the Rock Nation uh, getting down with the NFL. In other words, Jay-Z and Roger Goodell. Goodell. So what you think about that, man?
I really don't have enough to really say. Since I wasn't in the boardroom, I can't really say, and I would like to wait and see exactly what happens from it. I do know Jay-Z is a businessman. He's about making his money. He raps about making his money. So signing with the NFL is a good deal if you about making your money. So
yeah, but it goes against everything that he was standing for as far as Colin Kaepernick prior to making this deal, where he was, wearing Kaepernick's jerseys. He was pretty much against the NFL and their stance against Colin Kaepernick taking a knee. It seemed like he's done a 180-degree, and there's a lot of people out there that's saying that he's selling out. Is he selling out? What is his big picture?
Well, sometimes that's the problem. You can't always worry about what everybody else says. You'll never live your life if you're always worried about what someone else says. So if I'm worth $1 billion and some person that happens to be of the same race as me that probably doesn't even make $100,000 a year is calling me a sellout, do you really think I care? Probably not, because even though you think I'm a sellout, when I put that next album out, you're gonna buy it. When my clothing line drops that new fly gear, you're probably gonna buy it.
And if you don't,
when my wife drops her new album, you're gonna buy it.
And if you don't, it don't matter. I got my money anyway.
Yeah, I'm already wealthy, so I got enough money to last Blue Ivy's life. Is that his daughter's name? Blue Ivy? Blues? What? Or is that Kanye's? Okay, Blue Ivy.
Blue Ivy.
So I got enough money till I die, and my daughter, and possibly even my grandchildren if we're smart with it. I have created generational wealth for my family, so no big deal. I could fade into the sunset today and still be able to maintain my lifestyle until the day I die. Maybe even just living off interest. But here's the thing. I'm not going to call him a sellout because Colin Kaepernick did the same thing. Colin Kaepernick, earlier this year, and it was this year, Colin Kaepernick signed a deal with Nike for $40 million.
No, it gets better than that.
And who supplies all of the NFL's gear?
Nike.
So if he was really against the NFL, he would not have taken that money from Nike. Or he would have said, stop doing business with the NFL if you want to use my face on a poster and put a slogan under it. But that didn't happen. He took the $40 million. I'm sure that check did not bounce.
Not only that, he got between him and Eric Reed, they got a $10 million settlement from the NFL.
So he's not worried about money or trying out for another team. He had that one great season where he made it to the Super Bowl, and after that, he started going downhill.
You think so?
Yeah, look at his numbers. He probably would have been a career backup. It wasn't like he was a first-round pick.
But here's the thing to think about. The thing is to think about as far as Jay-Z is concerned, as far as Kaepernick is concerned, I'm thinking about legacy. Do you really want to have a blemish on your legacy? It's just like the whole deal with Martin Luther King and them saying that he had all types of affairs on his wife. That's a blemish on his legacy. I know if it was me and I was trying to stand out for my people and trying to make change, the last thing I want to do is tarnish that.
Well, as far as legacy, Martin Luther King's legacy was tainted because of his character. Him committing adultery on his wife. That says something about his character.
It says
I don't
weakness.
I don't necessarily think that Jay-Z signing with the NFL taints his character. It's adultery is a moral issue. Signing with the NFL is not, to me.
So what do you call it? Ethical?
Well, ethical and moral are kind of
They're kind of the same but different.
I don't think it's ethical at all. I mean, he can still talk about police violence in the black community. I mean, I haven't seen anything saying that this contract with the NFL includes a hush order for him. And part of that job, besides picking halftime shows for the Super Bowl, is he's supposed to be a liaison between the black community and the NFL. So his position doesn't look like he's selling out.
Well, I don't know, because I'm trying to figure out that position, trying to use the NFL halftime show as a platform as far as this whole awareness deal. I'm still having problems putting that together, because we haven't seen the whole thing yet. And it just makes me wonder, is it really what he's doing? Is it about money, or is it really his fight against racism, or is it that greed that drives him to make this deal?
It's about both. It's about both. If I can support my people and still make money at it, I don't know anybody that wouldn't do it. What, you don't think Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, Umar Johnson, those guys don't make money from supporting their people?
Do you think that Martin Luther King made any money? And sure, his family getting paid now, but I'm sure back in the day he wasn't getting a dime.
Okay, well, I don't know, actually.
Well,
he was a minister, so he might have been getting money
from his congregation.
From the congregation.
What about Malcolm X?
He definitely was getting donations.
What about Malcolm X?
Yeah, Nation of Islam was getting money. What do you think Nation of Islam? Louis Farrakhan is worth $4 million. He's not poor.
That all? I would suspect that he would have been worth more than that.
Well, the last time I checked, his net worth was like a little bit over between $4 and $5 million.
Yeah.
That's enough to provide you with a very comfortable income.
I'll take it.
Yeah, well, there you go. So
I'll take it. Hell, I'll take one.
So there you go. And then if he's 501c3, which he probably is, because he's a religious organization, he's probably not paying any taxes.
Oh, tax-free cash over.
Yes. And so he can rail about the Christians, just don't look at him, So, but so I don't see Jay-Z selling out. And it's not the NFL's fault that black people are dying in the streets. No. And here's another thing. They are a business. They're not a charity organization. They are in business to make
money.
Themselves, the owners, and the players money. Just like any other company. If the company has rules, if you don't follow the rules at your job, what happens?
You get reprimanded or fired.
Eventually, you get fired.
But here's the thing.
So Kaepernick is fired.
So here's the
thing.
So
why do we think he can reapply for a job he just got fired from for breaking the rules?
Fair enough. But here's the thing. The thing is this. The thing is that it is an organization that, damn near all of his players or most of his players represent us.
No, they don't represent us. They represent themselves. They're black, but they represent the. I haven't got a check from an NFL player,
so here's the
so
thing.
they don't represent me.
So here's the thing.
When I get part of that signing bonus, and some of them contracts, then I'll say he represents me.
So if one of those NFL players or a few of those NFL players do something stupid, and it gets caught all over the media, and it's thrown all over the place, and who do you think that makes looks bad?
Themselves.
Yeah, but you know, behind the hand, behind the door, behind the curtains. Yeah, look at how they are. You can see how they are. Yada yada yada. So it is a reflection. It's a reflection whether you want to admit it or if you like it or not. It's a reflection on us.
Well, here's the thing: money can't buy class. So, and the majority of the NFL players, where do they come from?
From the inner city.
Inner city, impoverished neighborhoods. Now
no,
we don't
not educated, not
but
cultured.
Here, yeah. I mean, when you grow up with that hood lifestyle,
you carry it with you.
You carry it with you. It's different until you learn different or better. Different or better.
And then you got some people that even though they have that opportunity, that to me that's like one of the biggest opportunities you can have is to be a ball player in the NFL. They get that opportunity and they have that background and they can learn better and do better and they choose not to. To me, that's a bad look.
But that's personal
on themselves, for sure. And when they go out here and do something stupid, now it reflects on us.
Well,
even in the smallest way, it's still a reflection.
I've never gotten any heat or flack from a white person.
Well, they ain't gonna come up to you and tell you, you know what, you remind me of this guy over here.
No, but still, I mean, I like to give people enough credit till they prove me wrong. So if I certainly didn't think all white people were rapists when Ben Roethlisberger caught that rape case. I didn't think all white people were drunk drivers when he crashed his motorcycle and ate a windshield on a car,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we shouldn't be lumping people in a box so quickly.
I agree. Well, that's on our side of the fence and on white people's side of the fence. I agree with you 100%. But it happens.
Well, then that's their problem, not mine.
And being that we're men of color, we can't relate to. We can try to, but I mean, really, you never lived in a white man's skin, so you don't know how things go behind closed doors. You get what I'm saying?
Well, see, just as it. Black people are in a position where it kind of doesn't really matter what the white man says. We got enough powerful black people in this country that are in politics, that control cities. We have, from every level, every station of life, there is a black person. And that doesn't mean they're all sellouts. That could just mean that they worked hard enough to get there. They made the right connections. Yeah, probably with somebody that was white, but still, they made the right connections and advanced themselves. So, we got black Supreme Court justices, Thurgood Marshall, Clarence Thomas. We had a black general, man in charge of the entire military, chief of staff, Colin Powell. Even though I didn't vote for him. We had a black president. We have black judges. We got black lawyers. We got black doctors. We got more black millionaires in America right now than any other time in this country. It doesn't matter if it's from football or basketball or baseball. Guess what? They're still millionaires. Now, some of them are smart enough to stay millionaires after their careers are over. Some of them aren't. But we still have more black millionaires than any other time in this country. And that gives you power right there.
Okay, but when you were saying that you don't believe that he's selling out, the thing is this. Um, okay, maybe it may be perceived that he's not possibly selling out now, in relation to some that, see it that way. But here's the thing. The thing is this. Um, what will this deal um, do for um, the social injustices down the road? Will it be? I mean, will this just be a ploy where things are just swept under the rug? Later down the line, after you know you get some silence on the situation.
This is not supposed to do anything down the road. The NFL is not affiliated with police departments,
but they do have influence. And here's another thing to think about.
They would be overstepping their bounds.
You were saying that there's millionaires. We have more millionaires now than we ever have.
Black millionaires, not millionaires. Black millionaires.
Okay, and Jay-Z is definitely one of them. And that he has, I guess, a chance to make deals behind the scenes with the NFL and in essence sit at the table. But will he ever really? Even like you said earlier when we were speaking, you were saying that before they was talking about him having partial ownership of the team. Now that's off the table. That to me is like an indicator of that he'll never be one of the boys that not really.
Well, from what I heard, it was never discussed. That's just it. It was put out there, but from later reports that I saw, I heard they said it was never discussed. So, will we have a black owner in the NFL someday? If somebody decides to sell a team, it's not impossible. I mean, let's clear this right now. That oh my God, it's impossible for a black person to own a major sports franchise and actually be on the same level as the white owners. No. Michael Jordan is black, regardless of what he does for the black community. The man is still black. He came up and he got his own sports team. He's the major owner of Charlotte. The team sucks so bad I can't even remember if it's the Hornets or the Bobcats or whatever. Yeah. But he's a part owner. Jay-Z was part owner in the New York Nets. So so that shows me if an opportunity to become an owner is there, and if a black person has the money to become an owner, they can do it. LeBron
financially can they do it? But will there be roadblocks?
Well, there's probably well, they got a process. There's a process to become an owner. It's not just you got enough money. I don't know what the criteria are, but they have checks and balances. LeBron, he wants to become an owner. Does that mean, him waiting for someone to sell their team? Or will they create another team in the league? Who knows? But he's made it clear that he wants to become an owner. So it's possible. Will the NFL create a couple more teams and get some black owners in? It's possible. So just because there isn't any ownership does not mean that the opportunity for ownership is not there or the possibility. It'd be different if the NFL was like, well, we ain't never gonna let a black face own one of our teams, or something like that. Then that would be like, whoa, that's something totally different.
That's an obstacle.
Yeah. But
if they have the power to I guess, make a stand and prevent it from happening.
I don't think they want that lawsuit. They don't want that.
You gotta first prove it.
Still, they don't want to spend all that money on legal fees. I mean, that case would probably go to the U.S. Supreme Court or at least something very high. If a wealthy black billionaire, because you do have to be a billionaire to own a team, in today's day and age, were to come against the NFL and said, I met every criteria to be an owner and I was more qualified than every white applicant that was qualified to be an owner, but they still picked a white applicant, you got a good case for racism, unless they can prove why they picked that white person over you. You may not win the case, but it's still one they probably don't want to touch. Everybody's scared of being sued unless you're poor like me. I don't have nothing to take, so go ahead and waste your money and sue me. Only thing I have, I'm not giving you. You can't get my wife, and you ain't getting my kids. You can have everything else because I can get it back.
Okay. What do you think about the statement that Jay-Z said that we're past kneeling? Because I seen the press interview with him and Roger Goodell, and he said that, and my thoughts on it were that, is he saying that we're past kneeling because we're not taking the shit no more, or we're past kneeling because we don't want to deal with it no more? You know, we're moving past this. We're going to try to make moves, or I mean, what was your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't want to speak for him. I think we are past kneeling. I mean, let's teach our children and these police officers how to better handle situations. Like I was saying in our last video, I don't think a policeman should be pulling his weapon out unless he sees, no, not even sees, unless the perpetrator's hand is on the weapon. So
I disagree with that.
No, you or I can have a gun.
Because my thing is this: what if you can't see his hand?
Okay.
Then I'm pulling my gun until you prove me different, that you ain't got your hand on a weapon.
Okay. But then, whose fault is that? If the officer is walking up to the car or walking up to you and you got your hands behind your back and you won't let him see your hands. Everyone should know
by now.
Yeah, by now that an encounter with a police officer
could get you killed.
Is a life and death situation, whether you are white or black. Okay, now for certain kind of white people, it is not a life or death situation.
Explain that.
If you look wealthy, if you look wealthy, so you're in a nice expensive car and a nice suit, you live in a well-to-do neighborhood. If you look like the world's definition of success, your chance of an officer or encounter with a police officer being life and death is probably very, very small. But if you look like,
I disagree with that too. Because there's been plenty of brothers of color that's been pulled. Hell, there's been football, since we're speaking about football, players that are wealthy, that are successful, and they get pulled over.
Okay, and when they get pulled over, how do they act? How do they act?
Some of them, yes. But there's been quite a few that did nothing wrong, and still profile, still got the treatment, and some of them, I can't recall offhand, but I can recall that there were a few that were surprised that they got that treatment because of the position that they held.
Well, now that's why they have body cams. So those accusations are provable. And I also think we need more prosecution of police officers that are involved in unjustified shootings. I think they need to be more than just fired. Oh, so you're saying I can kill you and all I'm going to do is lose my job, but I can build my life elsewhere?
I think that not only do I think that that should happen, I think that if they're proven guilty of murder, they should do the time like everyone else.
Absolutely.
And I also feel that, if it was me and say a family member of mine got killed by a police officer, I'm not just gonna look for prison time. I'm not gonna look just to sue the department, but I want to sue that police officer personally. I'm coming after him.
Well, unfortunately, he probably doesn't have much for you to take. So it probably
that's okay. I'm taking the scraps.
It'll probably cost you more to get his scraps than it would than the scraps. But like I was saying, if you have the modern definition of success, you're probably less likely to get pulled over or harassed. Of course, it probably is different for us because when they see us in a Benz, they probably think we're a drug dealer. We don't get that benefit of the doubt. The white man can be just as a drug dealer, just as easy. Look at Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, looks like a respectable businessman. Dude got a private island blackmailing people because he's letting them have sex with underage women, So I think being a police officer takes a level of discretion that most people don't have or can't have. They come with their preconceived ideas, or their ideas get formed after seeing so much of the same thing on the job that they'd rather, okay, the last 200 people I pulled over in a nice car that were black, they were all drug dealers. This one probably is too. So they're going to treat you like the last 200 until you prove them different. They're human. Just because they get this job does not mean that they can transcend all the frailties or all the imperfections that we as humans have.
Damn, that's a good way of putting that.
I mean, how many times do we
mess up in life?
Judge our own people.
Well, that too.
And I mean, we see a group of young black men walking down the street with their pants in between their butt and their knees.
I have to tell you, man, I never judge anyone.
Oh, okay. But you lie. But you lie? Okay. So, I mean, we all judge. And we sometimes don't judge correctly. But judging is a part of life. We have to judge. How else do you make an informed decision?
Sometimes it's important to judge. So
right.
Yeah.
And before anybody quotes the Bible verse, the Bible says you can judge. Okay, I know everybody likes to quote, "Do not judge lest you be judged. For the same measure which if you judge, that will be given unto you." The Bible also says when you judge correctly. Make sure the beam is out of your eye before you look at the speck of sawdust in someone else's. So, a lot of people judge with the beam in their eye. And that's just a fact of life. And then you get somebody that gets a badge and they think they got the law on their side, power goes to their head. Happens to a lot of people.
Well, that's what this whole thing's about, basically. I mean, trying to, I guess, get better training to try to fix this whole situation between our people and the police.
Well, it's not really going to get fixed. unfortunately, most of the crime in this country happens in black neighborhoods.
I disagree with that.
So where
I disagree 100% with that.
Why?
Dude, I've seen reports where it was shown that that white people create or so if
but
that's the case,
we create a percentage of crime beyond what our population is.
So that means that damn near every one of us is a criminal.
No. We just got a lot of criminals that can't stop committing crime. Okay? And each one of those
habitual criminals?
Yeah, and each one of those crimes gets logged.
Mm-hmm.
And they take statistics. Yes, there are white people that commit crimes, and they're, but a black person is, I believe the percentage is 95% likely to die at the hands of another black person than a white person, a police officer, or anything.
Dude, when I'm in the hood, I'm strapped up.
Why? But you should be them your people.
Wait a minute now. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Wait, are you in the Spanish hood? The white hood?
Let me finish.
Asian?
Let me finish. I didn't finish. Only did said half of it.
Oh, okay.
When I'm in the hood, I'm strapped up.
Okay.
When I'm out in Buttfucksville, I'm strapped up.
Well.
Oh, I'm strapped up.
But see,
and I have to be honest, I'm a little more worried being out in Buttfucksville.
Oh, me too.
I'm a little more worried.
See, I don't do dirt, but when I'm in the hood, I'm not worried about something happening to me. I'm worried about being in the crossfire. So it's a different type of worry. I'm worried about being maybe in the crossfire or
just the wrong place,
wrong time. If I'm out in the sticks, I'm worried about somebody messing with me just because I'm black.
There you go.
So it's two different kinds of worries. But why are you saying that?
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. But if you're in the hood, like you said, you just at the wrong place at the wrong time. You came across the wrong person. It is not the same as if you're out in Buttfucksville and you're targeted.
Okay, so how is that any different for a white person in the exact same position? If the white person is in the boonies and something happens, wrong place, wrong time, but if they're in the hood, they're targeted.
You're right.
There's a
and
white
I've seen
boy.
It, and I've seen
There's
it,
a white boy.
And I've seen it firsthand.
So
I have to agree with you. I'd be a hypocrite if I said that I disagree with you, knowing damn well I've seen it firsthand.
So we do the exact same thing.
It's still wrong.
But we so quick to look at other people and point the finger without looking at what we do. It'd be different if it would be completely different if we were in the hood and, like I said, we just worried about crossfire or maybe that one guy trying to rob us. Mm-hmm. Whereas out here, everybody's trying to get us, or something like that. It would be completely different if the situation is reversed and the white person felt just as safe in the hood as he did around his own people.
There are some.
Nah.
There are some.
Where?
I've spoken to some. I've worked with some.
Yeah, they probably know. They probably familiar with the hood.
They live there.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm talking about complete strangers.
Oh, well, that's a different deal.
I'm talking about you go in a hood, a black hood that you're not familiar with. You probably still are not going to feel worried because you're around your people, just like a white guy. He's around his people. But then you take this black stranger, stick him in a white hood where he don't know anybody or maybe one or two people, but basically unknown, and you do the same thing with the white guy, the danger is probably equal.
I don't know about that. As far as when you say danger, I'm thinking where a person is killed versus getting their ass whooped.
You come across the right person, they're gonna kill you.
It's hard to say.
You know, you get a racist black person that's got this white person that they beating up. And sometimes adrenaline does not help. You beating somebody down, sometimes you just take it that far without meaning to. And maybe you want to show out in front of your boys, so you pull the gun out and blast them. Just so you can get that rep a little higher. Same thing with the white boys. They beating down a black man. Hey, let's string him up. Or something like that. So
that's not in the heat of the moment.
We're all yeah, sure it is. One just takes longer than the other.
Well, getting back on subject, I was doing some reading up, and I understand that I guess Jermaine Dupri was working with the NFL as far as the Super Bowl that they had there, or was trying to, and it was doing or trying to set up some concerts, week-long concerts in ATL, and was met up with a whole lot of opposition from people that were on different media outlets, getting at him, saying that he was selling out. I even wrote one down where he was saying that some lady that he was speaking to told him that he was taking blood money. And at one time it was speculated that Jay-Z told him not to deal with the NFL, and now Jay-Z is dealing with the NFL now.
I don't feel sorry for Jermaine Dupri. That's his fault. He's a grown man. He could have said, you know what, the hell with all of you.
I'm going to get this money.
I'm going to get this money, yes. So he caved. That's on him. And let's say all he can do is kick himself in the butt if Jay-Z makes another $1 billion out of this deal.
Jay-Z ain't gonna do it if he ain't getting paid.
Well, of course, but we don't know how much he's getting paid. We don't know what else is getting paid. We just know what they choose to reveal to us. But Jermaine Dupri ain't getting nothing.
Because he ain't had the balls?
Yeah. Sometimes being a man means going against what the crowd says.
Standing up on your own, saying,
yes,
fuck what you say, this is what I'm doing.
Yes. Too many times you want to let the fans determine your future. Yes, the fans helped you get there, but it was your talent in the first place that got you on the map.
You said fans that got you where you are, but
that helped,
but it's not the fans that determine who you are and where you want to take it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And guess what? Even if he would have taken it, give it a couple years, it would have blown over. His memories are short.
Well, that's what they're saying about this whole thing.
Memories are short. Memories are short. It would have blown over.
People saying they don't want this to be blown over, and a corner turned on this situation where, like you say, it's blown over, and Jay-Z then took this deal and sold out.
It'll blow over. And people say they don't want it to blow over, but it will. Just like everything else in life does. It's going to blow over because enough people are going to be like, you're still talking about that? I don't want to hear about that. What? And then something else is going to happen that takes attention away from this completely.
Oh, that shit happens all the time.
Well, there you go. Everything blows over. Everything passes.
Like terrorism.
Well,
Al-Qaeda.
they keep doing it, so I don't
know. Is Al-Qaeda still around?
All I know is I'm not in it. Okay, I don't know what else. Excuse me, I don't know what else they do. I'm not in it.
Or ISIS.
Yeah, they're recruiting Americans, so they're still around. As a matter of fact, since we have left Iraq and Afghanistan or decreased our military presence, those organizations have increased.
No, they bounced back.
They
Like
bounced,
roaches,
yes, yes, they increased.
So you know there's gonna be some gonna have another conflict with them.
I don't think you can ever stomp out an underground movement unless you are just.
You can't stomp out the.
Unless you can just be the most ruthless and cold-hearted person in history.
Scorch the earth type.
Yes, that's the only way you can. Unless you can induce such fear that people better not even speak against you, you will never stomp out an underground movement.
Yeah, because you have to kill the whole belief system.
Yeah, or you have to make that fear stronger than that belief. And once that fear is stronger than that belief, you have to keep that fear. You have to
maintain.
You have to maintain that level of fear. You can't slack off.
Yeah.
Because that gives time for that hope to grow.
Yeah. So I think
just like China, look how long it took them. Now they're protesting in Hong Kong.
Mm-hmm.
But when did Tiananmen Square happen? 93.
That was the 80s.
I thought it was 93. 80s.
Yeah, that was
the
80s.
Yeah, China rolled in with tanks on people.
Yeah, and rolled over.
Yeah, and look how. I mean, I'm not condoning what China did. Let me make that clear. But they smashed their hope. They destroyed their hope. They killed people. They showed up with a overwhelming military presence. Get in line or die, pretty much. But now, here we are. Since it happened in '89, here we are, 30 years later. That hope has grown up. Hey, let's stand up again. I'm glad that hope has. Mm-hmm. I think everybody should want to fight to be free, especially against a
that's an innate thing.
Tyrannical government.
Yeah, that's just in you. Nothing that's free wants to be, not free.
Right. So I think we need to give it a little bit more time to see what Jay-Z does. If we're too critical, a lot of us will end up sticking our foot in our mouths. Because what if he does some great things? Then all that bashing that you did, people are gonna remember it, and you're gonna look kind of stupid. So sometimes it's just better to be patient and wait, and that's what I want to do.
And all the people that because there's a lot of celebrities that was getting at Jay-Z.
Well,
I'm sure, like you said, none of that's going to be forgotten, and if things come off the way they say it.
Well, I think
it should.
Celebrities are the worst people to get your morals from in the first place. Mm-hmm. So I don't use Hollywood or athletes or celebrities as my moral compass. So you have to think for yourself, people. Think for yourself with logic, not emotion. Logic.
That's it.
Look at all the angles logically, not emotionally. Emotion can blind you.
So I think that says it about this topic that we have here on the Common Ground. Remember to like, remember to subscribe and share, comment. We like comments, and we'll see you again at the Common Ground.
And even if and send us some topics that you might like to hear us talk about. I'd love to make some videos on what you guys actually want to hear, not just us. So we'd love to hear from you.
All right, that's it.
Thank you.